Are you saying that that's not the first thing you want to see when a stream starts? You don't want to see old dopey eyes when a stream starts? I mean, come on, what's wrong? It's just our good friend old dopey eyes, who seems to have an affinity for death and dying. But she likes cool ghost stories. This girl would be fun to have along on a camping trip. You can't tell me she wouldn't be a fucking riot. Can you imagine chowing down on some s'mores and telling ghost stories with Takano? It'd be so dope. It'd be the coolest shit. You would have so much fun. You would be scared shitless. Nobody tells a ghost story like Takano. You'd never sleep again. Well, then how are you going to wake up next to old dopey eyes if you're never going to sleep again? Think about that. It's your opportunity, Sarah. I mean, if you have a camping trip with Takano, there's a pretty good chance you'll get to wake up like that. First thing in the morning. First thing in the morning. Those big old dopey eyes staring right back at you. How's it going, Taylor? Welcome. Just get it over with. Nippon. You're doing better than yesterday. That's good. That's good. Yeah, computers are fucking worthless. Who needs them? I don't. Take that back. Everything I do involves computers in some form. Yeah, including this stream. I literally cannot share the rest of Higurashi without everybody in the chat if I don't have a computer. We'll do it the old-fashioned way with telephones? Well, I've still got to be able to play the game. If I can't play the game and read it to you, I literally can't tell you the story unless I just make it up myself and do voice acting on my own. You had to rebuild and do so much press. That sucks. That always sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna have to call Sarah up on my rotary dial phone. I'm gonna have a script ready. I'm gonna do all the voices for him and the inner monologues. It'll be great. We'll have a great time. It'll be like a 5-hour phone call every night. The path to the UFO ending in Silent Hill. Hey, man! UFOs! Takano has brought the UFO theory to the table. I'm just saying. Exactly. I'm going to do a one-woman show of Higurashi. It'll be fantastic. Everyone will love it. I'm trying to think of the last time I had a very long phone call. God, when would that be? That was a long time ago. Jeez. Like, the last time I had, like, probably a long-ass substantial phone call would probably have to be, like, 2007 or 2008. Like, it's so long ago. Yeah, when they toot Higurashi Polykai. I'm going to be doing Tsumihoroboshi tonight. Oh. Alright, but we're not saying it's aliens. We're not saying it's aliens. but it might be. Which means we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. So, bring this game back into focus. Load ourselves on back up. Can you believe we're already on chapter 10? Oh, hold on. I don't believe I have enabled Joy to Key. And I need to do that. And this is very vital for how I play this video game. So there we go. I keep forgetting to do that. But fear not. We're good to go. Seems like yesterday we were just making friends. Alright, we're commencing. We're doing it. Here we go. They were mowing the grass near the fence, which was probably a cover to monitor their surroundings. Just in case I tried to escape from the school. Okay, we are still Metal Gear Rena here. And it's just like a direct continuation from yesterday. We didn't just jump to the next day. But they must have been thinking that would happen only after school was over. They seemed to have no idea that I'd already noticed their plan and was trying to run away right at that very moment. I couldn't use the front gate since they'd find me easily. I moved behind the school building and made sure nobody was around the curry garden, ran through it, and dashed into the forest. Yo, L-Rock! How's it going? O to the M to the G. What is up? We are currently inhabiting the mind of a crazy person, or somebody who maybe has begun to lose all of her marbles. Hope you are doing well this evening, L-Rock. I walked through the dense undergrowth, stepping on dead wood and climbing over fallen leaves. After walking through the forest for a while, I came to a small road. I know many back roads in this village because of our club activities, and that knowledge has finally come in handy. So what should I do now? I'm sure the girl already passed on my message to Chie-sensei. Those men must be going crazy now, knowing that I ran away. Yeah, the font, it's a striking red.
竜宮さんの総体を他に聞いている人はいませんか?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the gimmick, is that the font's going to get redder the further that she kind of sinks into what's going on. Which I think is a really cool effect, because if you'll remember, her text started out pink. And then it started shifting to red as everything started kind of taking hold. Hello, Jetstorm, welcome! Everybody in the class looked at each other and shook their heads. Chie-sensei looked a bit upset that Rena left school early without telling her in person.
でもレナさん、最近はいつも体調悪そうでございましたものね。レナ、カバンなんかも置きっぱなしだし、どうしちゃったんだろう。
なんだか嫌な予感がするぜ。
え？
I think I know what's going on. I'm not sure, but I have a very bad feeling about this. She must have taken another ridiculous story seriously or something. I hope she won't do anything crazy. This ominous music is probably fine. Don't worry about it. I hurried home. My father might be at his new job, or he might have gone shopping. He wasn't around when I got there. 13 Sentinels in your hands. Yeah, I'm going to probably pick that up soon. I don't know whether I want to get to that before Cold Steel 3, or Cold Steel 4, or after Cold Steel 4, though. Now that they're on the move, I'm no longer safe in my house. If they're very dangerous people. They're trained to be capable of attacking the Ministry of Construction, and they're actually pulled off kidnapping of the grandson of the minister. Locked doors and windows don't mean anything to them. In fact, it'd be like I was hiding in a box which they could just open up to get at me. I could no longer stay at my home. It's very sad and very frustrating. I killed Rina and Tepe and finally regained a peaceful life with my father. How could this happen to me? I remembered what Keiichi-kun told me before. It expressed my feelings better than anything.
高野さんめ、とんでもない置き土産を。
Why did she give me those terrifying scrapbooks? Why did she tell me the secret of that unthinkable conspiracy? She got me into this. I didn't do anything. It's all Mio-san's fault. But who was interested in her stories? I was. Who let her continue talking? I did. I did that out of curiosity. Who let the memories of Ibaraki return and told Mio-san about them? I did. I depended on Mio-san, hoping that she would somehow save me from the memories I'd been trying to forget. I shouldn't have remembered anything from that bizarre incident. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have gotten involved in the unthinkable conspiracy, and I could have just played around with my friends today. But even if I didn't know about the conspiracy, it'd still continue behind the scenes. I would have been one member of the mob running in a panic, not knowing what's going on the day of Oyashiro-sama's revival. I would have been just swallowed up in their conspiracy anyway. Would I be happier if I faced a day without knowing anything? Would I be happier if I struggled, knowing about it, Would I be happier if I struggled, knowing about it, but ending up swallowed by it? If I'm going to end up the same way, no matter what I choose to do, I'll fight. I'll choose to fight, because that's how I seized my happiness before. When Rina invaded my home, seducing my father, I felt like it was the end of the world. I lived on the verge of despair every day. I thought that was the worst misfortune that could befall anyone. But the way things are going, it wasn't really that bad at all. I had only 2 enemies, Rina Mamiya and Teppei Hojo. I knew my enemies, and I knew how many there were. I lured them out one by one, and I attacked them in the dark. It was a very easy problem to solve. But what about this one? I don't know who my enemies are, and I don't know how many or how strong they are. Even the people I once trusted might be my enemies. I can't possibly be sure. It's totally different from the previous problem. This might be the end of the world. This time, it really was the worst thing that could possibly happen. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is befalling poor Rena right now. But is that really the case? With Rina, it felt like the end of the world, but I no longer think it was that bad. So this might turn out to be an easy problem to solve in the end, and I might be able to laugh about it someday. I know that day will come. Rena and the terrible, horrible, awful day. So this might turn out to be an easy problem to solve in the end, and I might be able to laugh about it someday. I know that day will come. I know it for sure. So I shouldn't think that this is the end of the world. Let's fight. I can fight. I can still struggle. I'd eat grass and drink mud if I needed to. That's gross. I'm going to bet on the 1% chance, even though it's unbelievably small. If Mio-san didn't leave me the scrapbooks, I wouldn't even been able to sit at the table to bet. I was lucky that I received the scrapbooks because they gave me the chance to choose my future. If I don't fight, they'll spread the terrible parasite, and this village will face a great disaster. According to the legend, when the demons first came out of the swamp, people became demons right after being infected. And it happened while they were inside the village. These days, symptoms appear only when infected people leave the village, but that only applies to the later weak parasite. The original parasite can reenact the curse of Oyashiro-sama even when the infected are in the village. The legend of Oyashiro-sama will be reborn. Humans and demons will start killing each other, and Oyashiro-sama will come down to pacify the disaster. That's what they want. They want people to prostrate themselves before the miracle, and the only people who truly worship Oyashiro-sama will be saved. I see. I know their true intention now. They're going to reenact the legend of Oyashiro-sama. After all, the villagers always say Rika-chan is their reincarnation. The stage is also... Oh no. They're going to use the parasite as the curse. So how are they going to make it look like Oyashiro-sama came down to pacify everyone? I get it. They must have some kind of medicine, a specific cure for the parasite. When they recreated the stronger form of the parasite, they found a cure for it at the same time. They're going to use this cure to save only the people who believe in Oyashiro-sama, and as a result, this village will only have those fervent believers. They're going to make themselves the absolute rulers of Hinamizawa. Wait, I still might be underestimating them. They're going to carry out a horrible act of bioterrorism only inside of Hinamizawa? History proves that when their goal is to control others, people desire to spread their religion across a wide area. Well, you're not wrong there. I'm sure that they've conducted research not only to bring back the primitive form of the parasite, but also to overcome its weaknesses, namely that it only thrives in Hinamizawa. You read The Giver? I have not read The Giver. According to Miyo-san's research, the parasite doesn't like its hosts to be far from the region. Oh, right, Ayn Rand for killing your gardeners. Its weakness is distance. If they could extend the distance, then they could extend the area where it can live. I wonder how far along their research is. By now, the parasite must be able to live not only in Hinamizawa, but in Okinomiya as well. Or maybe even in the city. Maybe the whole prefecture. I'm going to be able to cover nearby... It might be able to cover nearby prefectures as well. This is too serious to just call a conspiracy. It's horrifying enough, and its scale large enough to call it a revolution. The day of revival is probably not far off. I can tell by how they killed Miyo-san and the extent of their pressure they're putting on me. They're going to get rid of the small fish bones stuck in their throat by any means, because that day is coming ever closer. I'm the only one who can stand up against their revolution. I can't trust anybody. I think I can trust Keiichi-kun, but no one else. Mi-chan is out of the question. I can't trust Rika-chan either. Satoko-chan and Rika-chan stick together like super glue. So I can't trust Satoko-chan either. I can't trust any adults. I can't trust anybody. No one is on my side. I have to stand up against them alone. The clock is ticking towards that day, and the ticking noise made me frustrated. How should I fight against them? What should I do? I needed time to think. I needed a place, a safe area, where I could concentrate on thinking. Fortunately, I had an area already. My hideout at the garbage dump. Nobody ever goes there, so it's safe. Even if they found out about that place, I'm familiar with its surroundings. I know escape routes and places where I can hide. But it has a big shortcoming as a hiding place. It's not hard to imagine what that is. I don't have any stock of food there. That's why I came home. I opened the door of my father's drawers and took out his cash box. The contents haven't changed since the last time I looked inside. There were many new 10,000 yen bills in the cash box. I took them all. I couldn't tell how many bills were actually there, but it looked to be about 80 of them. Jesus Christ, this girl's loaded right now! Rana, you're doing it bad! Yeah, why wouldn't you trust Shion? I think Shion's the one you go to in this instance, right? This should be plenty. If I evaded him long enough to use all of this money, that would mean that I did pretty well. Plus, I might use it to buy someone off. You can never have too much money, especially in a situation like this. That's like 30 bucks. I didn't take the bank book. If they were waiting in ambush at the bank, I'd be done for. It's too risky to withdraw money at the bank. I grabbed my backpack. I took the key for my bicycle. I put everything I think would be convenient to have into my backpack. I didn't care if it got heavy. I'd choose what was necessary to carry around later at my hideout. If there ended up being something I didn't need, I could leave it there. I looked at the clock. It had been 30 minutes since I came home. I stayed here too long. I rushed out of the house. I went to a small convenience store and bought as much sweet bread and canned food as I could fit into my backpack. An old lady at the register, probably suffering from dementia, she showed no interest in the extraordinary amount of food I was buying, but as soon as the manager of the store checked the sales that night, he'd find out. The idea didn't bother me because I could no longer walk around the village in daylight anyway. My backpack was full and the cans hurt my back when I walked. But that didn't bother me either. I got to my hideout, still carrying the heavy backpack. I organized the stuff I bought. It was very heavy to carry, but now I had sufficient food. The abandoned construction office still had running water, so I could get some from there. I wanted to get some vegetables, but in a situation like this, I could hardly complain. After I organized things, I took out the scrapbooks I hid here and put my brain into top gear, flipping through the pages. So now what? How am I going to stand up against this gigantic conspiracy? I needed to calm down, stay cool, but also think fast. There might not be a lot of time, so I'd have to hurry, but I don't know what to do. It's easy to run to school in the morning when I overslept. It's easy because I know where I should go, but now I don't know where I should go to or what I should do. Now that I've come to this point, I should tell Oishi-san everything. It's highly likely he's an enemy, but that doesn't matter anymore. If it's true, I just declare war. Jesus! She's going all in, man! Pushing those chips to the middle of the table. No fucks given. Born identity. Right. But that doesn't matter anymore. If it was true, I'd just declare war. But if he was on my side, he'd be my only remaining hope. I'm far too weak to stand alone against the terrifying scale of this conspiracy poised to instill fear throughout Japan. I'd have to use a public phone to make the phone call. There's only one public phone in this village that stands at a place where it's hard for people to spot you. That phone booth. It stands in the middle of nowhere where nobody comes around. Many bugs gather around the light when it's dark, and it's not a pleasant place to go. Remember, a detective came to that phone booth a while ago. He did not have a good time after that phone booth. But I can't think of any public phones I can use to contact Oishi-san without being seen. Even though it stands in the middle of nowhere, it's still dangerous to use in the daylight. I should wait until nightfall and take advantage of the darkness. I heard that Oishi-san has been holed up in the station since Mio-san's murder case, so I should be able to reach him any time. I have the number for a direct line to his office, too. The sky was still bright. Even though I had no time, I still had to wait for it to get dark. Frustrated, I glared into the sunset. I should find something to do. I could waste my time that I had, but there must be something to do. After I thought about what I could do, I found there was something I wanted to confirm. Something I've been worried about. I couldn't do anything else before it got dark anyway. Staying here doing nothing would just make me more frustrated. I made my decision and left the hideout. Rena's father paced up and down relentlessly in front of his house. A bicycle appeared, its rider ringing the bell. A police officer from the Hinamizawa police station had shown up. Having rushed to get there, he was breathing hard.
お待たせしました。状況をお伺いします。確かに施錠して出て行ったんです。そうしたら、まず家の扉が開きっぱなしになってまして。
He led the police officer into the house.
それで、私の部屋の手提げ金庫がまんまとやられまして。
Sloppy work, Rena. Sloppy.
ご主人、これはその時のまま？触ってない？
ええ、犯人の指紋とかあるだろうと思いまして金庫には触れてません。ただ中身を確認したので中のものには少し触れています。
それで取られたものは？
貯金通帳と印鑑は大丈夫だったんですが中に入ってた現金を全部。
通帳と印鑑大丈夫だったんですか？そりゃあ不幸中の幸いでしたね。最近は通帳から足がつくと思ってプロは現金しか持ってかないんですよね。こりゃあだいぶ手慣れた空き巣かな。金庫ごと持ってかないでこの場で開けちゃうってんだから相当のプロだね。でお金はどのくらいやられちゃって？
ちょっと数えてなかったんですが多分1万円札で100枚近くはあったと思います。
ああ、そう、それだけの現金が入ってることを誰かに知らせた？
いえ、誰にも知らせてはいませんが。
あの女？ちょっとお話を聞かせていただけますか？
実はあまりみっともいい話じゃないんで、間宮里奈という女とですね。
Just then the phone rang.
すみません、ちょっと出てきますね。すぐ戻ります。
He grabbed the phone.
はい、竜宮です。
すみません、前原と申しますが、レナさんはいらっしゃいますか？
レーナはまだ帰ってきてません。
まだ帰ってない？
いや、申し訳ないんですが、ちょっと今立て込んでます。遊びの電話でしたらまたかけ直していただけますかね。申し訳ないですね。失礼いたします。
He hung up after that. Oh my! That text is definitely redder. That's definitely more redder. Holy crap, that's red. I was stunned. It didn't look like anything had changed on the surface. It was hard to find this place at all because it perfectly blends into the surroundings. I only found this place again because I remembered there was a tree with a big lump of wood on it nearby. The spot where I buried the corpses was perfectly camouflaged as if nothing had happened. That's why, at first, I thought I came to the wrong place. But I could make certain once I stick a shovel in the ground, I should be able to tell right away whether this place was dug up before or not. Yo, Nert! Welcome! How's it going? Hope you are doing well. Doing the old lurkadirk. I got you. Well, hope you enjoy the show. There's certainly a lot of red here to be had. Certainly much redder than we started the stream with, I'm noticing. After several false starts, I found the exact spot where I buried the corpses. But the biggest problem of all is that there were no bags in there at all. Why? How come? Did I bury them deeper than this? No, I didn't. I remember exactly how deep I buried them. I know I didn't bury them deeper than this. I wasn't expecting this. I came here to check the corpses. I just wanted to do that to kill some time. I didn't want to stay in my hideout doing nothing, so I came here to check if the corpses I buried were still there. I'd make sure that they were still there, and I'd feel relieved. It was supposed to go like that. This was such an unexpected turn of events that I broke out into a cold sweat. What's going on? I don't need to calm down to think about what happened. Corpses can't come back to life and crawl out of the ground. Someone must have dug them out. Who did it, and for what purpose? Did anyone happen to see us burying the corpses here, and did they dig them out after we left? What if they handed them over to the police? No, it can't be. It's been quite a while since the day we buried them here. It was before the Watanagashi festival, so if the police did find the corpses, when Oishi contacted me, he had to know about Rina and Teppei. But he didn't tell me anything about them. I don't think that he was hiding anything on purpose either. So that means the police don't know about Rina and Teppei yet. Then why are the corpses gone? That would leave only one answer. Who knows about this place? One of us came back here, dug out the bags, and took them away. The first person who comes to mind is Mion. I mean the Sonozaki family. But I can't think of a reason of why they would do that. The murder of Rina and Teppei has nothing to do with them. I'm sure they didn't want to get involved either, let alone be falsely accused. They must want to stay as far away from this case as possible. Why would they want to keep the corpses? It's like keeping a joker even though you'll lose if you have the joker by the end of the game. If I was Michan, what would I do? What would I do if I was club president? The Joker is a card you want to get rid of, at least in the game I mentioned earlier, but it becomes a powerful card in other games. What kind of game would that be? An electric shock ran through my spine. At the same time I realized it, they're one step ahead of me. The Sonozaki family got the corpses to use them as a Joker, as a wild card. They're trying to use them to sell me out to the police. Oh boy. The Sonozaki family is trying to kill me using their death squad, but they want to have insurance just in case they fail. The thing they're afraid of the most is that I might work together with the police. If they could prevent that from happening, I'd have no one to work with. If that happens, I can no longer run away from them. I'd still be a fish in their pond. They're going to use the corpses to sell me out to the police for the murder of Rina and Teppei. If the police started seeing me as a suspect, they'd never listen to my story. They could have been my last hope, but this will certainly turn them against me. But I'm sure the Sonozaki family doesn't want to use their Joker unless absolutely necessary. After all, Mion Sonozaki helped bury the corpses. Plus, they don't want the police to hover around Hinamizawa when the day of the revival is close. I'm going to call Oishi tonight, and I'm going to ask him for help. I'm going to tell him everything, including the things I haven't even told Keiichi-kun. I don't know if Oishi will believe me. This is a gamble, and the chance of winning is very small. Plus, my worst enemy has the Joker, the bags with the corpses inside. I'm impressed with Mion. That's just what I'd expect from the leader of our club. This is a battle that I'm betting my life on, but to Mion, this is like a board game taking place across Hinamizawa itself. I grinned, repeating to myself that this is just a game. I put my life on the line for every club activity we do because I don't want to suffer the punishment. This time, that's become the literal truth. There could be only one reason why they're trying so hard to drive me into a corner. It's because they're afraid of me. I assumed that I was just a little girl with no power, running around in confusion, but my enemy must not be thinking that way. If they didn't think that I was a threat to them, they wouldn't take risks like this as to drive me in a corner. That means the scrapbooks Mio-san left me must be way more dangerous to them than I think they are. I see. They have a joker, but so do I. The joker I have is so deadly and so powerful that it can break their plot into pieces. That's why they're so eager to find me. A cornered mouse really can bite a cat. I felt my fear towards my enemy fade away all of a sudden. Just as I fear them, so do they fear me too. So, this is an evenly matched game. I don't have as bad a hand as I thought that I did. I was right to come here. I found out about the card my enemy was holding. This is a big deal. I felt myself shiver with excitement. I grinned to encourage myself. I don't need to be here any longer. They know this place. They might come here to find me. It's not safe for me to be here for long. I decided to go back to my hideout. On the way back, I passed close to my house. I noticed something different right away. I hid behind a bush and looked at the front gate of my house. Oh no, this is going to get worse. This is going to get way worse. Oh no. Oh no! I just have big oh no signs popping up all over right now. Just blaring in neon bright red and pink lettering that just say, oh no! I hid behind a bush and looked at the front gate of my house. My father was talking to a police officer. I strained to catch their conversation.
いつもはそこに止めてあるはずなんです。
My father pointed at the place where I usually parked my bicycle.
わかりました。もしお嬢さんが帰られましたらご連絡をください。こちらの方でも探してみます。
Michan, you're good. Did you already play your Joker? Leon always starts a battle by attacking without hesitation and wins. It seems like the police are already after me. My chance of being able to explain the conspiracy to Oishi was already small, but this makes it even smaller. No. That's why I'm going to talk to Oishi. He sees the Sonozaki family as his enemy, and he's trying to expose everything about them before his retirement. That's why he'll be on my side. He's not going to fall for their trick. Of course, there is a very high possibility that everything was part of their trap from the very beginning. It's possible that he claimed the Sonozaki family was his enemy in order to make me believe that he's on my side, but their Joker is actually giving me hope. If Oishi is one of them, it would be too early to play their Joker. Oishi isn't one of them. That's why they got the Joker, so they can play it before I go to the police. No, wait. That might be a trick to make me think that way in order to make me trust Oishi. When Mion gives me the two choices to choose from, it's usually better to choose the one I like without thinking too much. Mion, after all, likes to guess people's intentions in order to confuse them. So when you think about a choice too much, you're already in her trap. I'm going to do as I planned. I'm going to call Oishi after it gets dark. If he's going to become my ally, we can talk about the future. If he isn't, that, I realized, was what I had to think about before it got dark. It's probably fine. This is probably fine, right? I think we're good. I mean, oh boy. Oh boy.
いえいえ、時間のことは気にしないでくださいよ。
Give me just 1 second. Well, hey, it's a call with our good pal Oishi. Who doesn't want to call up Oishi at like 7, 8 o'clock at night and just kind of shoot the shit. He's a guy that's probably got a lot of interesting stories, I think, that you could probably talk about. So yeah, I think we're doing good. Calling up our good pal, Detective Delicious.
残業代はついちゃいませんが、ちゃんと勤務中ですので。
I started the conversation with an ordinary greeting to try and gauge his reaction. Okay, I think we're just full bore, like, FF0000 red now, aren't we? Like, we are just, yeah, that's red. Like, there's no hint of any other hue here. I think we're just FF0000. I started the conversation with an ordinary greeting to try and gauge his reaction. There's a 50-50 chance that Oishi is one of them. If he's their pawn, he'll either lure me out somewhere so he can arrest me, or he'll ask me where the scrapbooks are. You gonna get yourself some of that Oishi? But even if he didn't, that wouldn't prove anything. It's going to be difficult to determine if he's on my side or not, and I'd have to tell him about the scrapbooks no matter what. My heart's beating very fast. Even if I was sure that Oishi isn't their pawn, I'd still have to make him believe such a crazy story, and I'd have to do that over the phone. Worrying wouldn't do anything for me. This is, I know, a gamble. I have but a small chance of winning. If I didn't put my chips on the table, the game wouldn't even start.
以前も少し話しましたが、やっぱり私、何者かに狙われてるみたいです。
I get that reference.
それは本当ですか？
ええ、以前までは、ひょっとすると気のせいかもしれないと思う程度だったのですが、昨日あたりから間違いないと思うレベルになりました。
間違いないレベルと言いますと？
数台の車が私の身辺を伺っているようなんです。うちの1台は白いワゴン車で、造園屋に偽装した4人の特攻隊と思われる人間が乗っています。
特攻隊というと、園崎家の暗殺部隊の？
はい、おそらくそうに違いないと思います。今日、学校にまで詰めかけてきました。あわやのところで逃れましたが、危ないところでした。
しかし、なんだって急に。まさか竜宮さんが富武殺しについて嗅ぎ回っているとでも思い込んだんですかね。
Oishi hasn't mentioned the scrapbooks yet. It sounded rather unnatural to beat around the bush like that by mentioning Tomitake's murder, but as I haven't told him about the scrapbooks, it could be a legitimate reaction.
実はですね、ついさっき嫌な話を耳にしました。もうちょっとちゃんと調べてからお耳に入れたかったのですが、お互い新情報を知ったら。
Alright, Oishi's about to drop some bad news on us. This is probably good. This is probably going to do wonders.
ですので、とりあえずお話しておきます。実は、沖宮の園崎組で悪い動きがあるらしいんです。
Oh, good, good. This is good for good.
園崎組で悪い動きですか？
ええ、ちょっとショックな話かもしれません。実は、若い衆に人探しを命じているという話なんですがね。
Oh, good!
人探し。
My heart stopped for a moment upon hearing that. Are they?
私もにわかには信じられません。探しているのは、あなたらしいんですよ。
Oh, man.
竜宮レナを探させているそうなんです。まだ仕入れたばかりの情報なんで何が狙いかはつかめていませんが。
Oh, this is all getting so fucked up! Everything's wrong! No!
私が身に危険を感じ始めているという話、信じてもらえますか？
ねえ、互いの話がきれいに一致します。竜宮さん、これはどういうことですか？お心当たりは？
What they're really looking for are the scrapbooks I have. They want to know where they are, and they believe that I'm hiding them. They must be thinking that they'll be able to hide information in the scrapbooks forever if they succeed in shutting my mouth. But I couldn't tell Oishi about that yet. I answered his question by asking him a question.
大石さんの方で何かわかりませんか？私には全然どうしてだか。
私だってわかりません。 園崎組があなたという個人を狙って動くなんて考えられない。でも事実なんです。信頼できる筋から得た情報で紛れはありません。
Guys. Their friend is missing. They're pulling resources with the Sonozakis because Mion has connections. And they're like, yo, can you help find our friend? I think that's what's going on here.
園崎組が私に関心があるのではなく、園崎本家が私に関心があるというのはどうですか？
こういった動きはめったに見せるものではありません。
Oh, this is all going... this
君の
is
上
all
納金の
going
落ち逃げがあっ
places.
たとか、そういうトラブルがあった時には、こういう騒ぎもあったりします。でも、それは大抵、組関係の業界の話で、仇である個人が対象となるなんて前例がありません。
私がその貴重な一例目であるのは嬉しいですが、前例がないで済まされちゃこっちはたまらないです。
まあ、竜宮さん。落ち着いて。今度は、竜宮さんが話す番じゃないんですか？
何をですか？
竜宮さん。園崎組がこういう動きを見せることは、おいそれとあることじゃありません。何かの誤解にしたって、なかなかあることじゃない。心当たりはありませんか？竜宮さんにとっては何気ない何かが彼らを誤解させている可能性もあります。私の読みでは連中、あなたが園崎本家周辺を嗅ぎ回っていて、何かとんでもない事実を掴んだ、もしくは掴んだと思い込んでるのどちらかじゃないかと思います。それは竜宮さんが日々の生活でしてしまうような些細なものじゃない。もっと目立つ何かです。本当に心当たりはありませんか？
If he's my ally, is he my ally or enemy? I still can't figure it out. This is it. Make your decision, Renner
多分
Yugo.
私がミオさんのスクラップ帳を
Oh,
預かっ
man.
ているからだと思います。
Here we go. We're going all in, folks. Let's see how this play works.
ミオさん、高野ミオのスクラップ帳ですか？そいつは一体。
If he was my enemy, he wouldn't be able to hide his excitement, but his voice remained steady, and it didn't sound unusual when he said the word scrapbook.
はい。実は私、ミオさんが殺される数日前に彼女と図書館で出会って、その時に意気投合して彼女に研究をまとめたスクラップ帳を数冊預けられたんです。
Yeah, he's literally trained to lie.
研究をまとめた？
はい。ミオさんは、ひなみ沢村の歴史について、深く研究していたんです。そしてそれらを、数冊のスクラップ帳にまとめていました。奴らはミオさんを殺したとき、スクラップ帳が何冊か足りないのに気づき、それを私に託していたことを気づいたのだと思います。
奴らの狙いはスクラップ帳？リグさん、それは一体何なんですか？
ひなみ沢が、かつて鬼ヶ淵村と呼ばれていた太古の昔についての研究をまとめたものです。お社様信仰の発祥について書かれています。
お社様信仰？人食い鬼の末裔が仙人になってっていう？
ええ。ミオさんはその研究の中で、お社様信仰についてのある重大な秘密を暴いたんです。その研究結果は、お社様を神聖であると崇める人たちにとっては、極めて冒涜的な内容でした。
なるほど。信仰の特に盲信的な連中には、その研究の存在が許せなかった。
Oishi was taking notes. I could hear him writing something while he spoke.
彼らはミオさんを消し、そのミオさんが残したスクラップ帳も葬ろうとしているんです。最初のうちは、私が持っているのかどうか分かりかねているようだったんですが、昨日を境に疑わしきは殺せという方針に変わったように感じています。
I don't know what you're talking about, Taylor. This is probably okay. I think we're doing fine. Like, it's an open sharing of information. We're trying to solve the case.
なるほど。そりゃ好ましい状況ではありませんね。あなたの身辺を警戒させましょう。あと、そのスクラップ帳を拝見させてください。高野殺しの何かの手がかりになるかもしれない。
あ、いえ、警察の内部にも奴らの手先が混じっている可能性が高いです。ですから、身辺の警戒は結構です。自分の身は自分で守ります。あと、スクラップ帳も同じです。彼らはそれを抹消しようとするでしょう。たとえ警察の中であっても。
園崎組があなた一人をターゲットに動いている以上、もしこれが園崎本家の頂上からの指令なら、その可能性は確かにありますね。園崎本家が敵だった場合、悔しいですが、私たちの中にも内通者がいないとは限りません。
そういうことです。ですから、私のことは気にしないでください。それよりお願いがあります。とてもとても重要なお願いです。
言ってください。何ですか？
ミオさんの研究によるならば、今、ひなみ沢の闇に恐ろしい陰謀があり、それが遠くないうちに実行されそうなんです。
陰謀？それは一体何です？
I get tense all of a sudden. If I tell him everything, it's going to sound like a big lie. I should leave out the bizarre sounding parts for now, and actually make the story more credible.
奴らの正体は、お社様信仰の信者たちです。
How's it going, Raven? We are deep in red territory.
奴らは明治以降、すっかり下火になってしまったお社様信仰の意向を取り戻し、太古の鬼ヶ淵村の時代のような厳格な信仰を復活させようとしているんです。
続けてください。メモしてます。
ミオさんの研究によると、お社様伝説の根底には、大昔のある風土病の存在があるんです。
Yeah, I think this girl needs to just get a little bit shut
その
eye.
風土病の猛威が、お社様のたたりと恐れられ、それを治療できる医者的存在が、お社様と崇められ、村を支配した。
Let me get you some coffee.
そうだったんです。なるほど。続けて。
その風土病は、土着のある特殊な寄生虫によるものだったんです。ですが、長い世代を繰り返すうちに、徐々に無害になっていき、ご存知の通り、今では何事もありません。彼らにとって、風土病が無害では、お社様のたたりがなく、たたりがなければ、救いも必要ない。だから、お社様の神聖性が保てないわけです。
それを復活させようとしたら、それはつまり、風土病を蘇らせるということを意味するわけですかな？
そうです。奴らは、お社様伝説をゼロからもう一度やり直し、お社様の降臨を再現しようとしているんです。そのため、古代の強力な風土病を再発させる原始の寄生虫を研究していたと思われます。連続開始事件の正体は、この研究結果を試すものだったんです。そして、富武さんに対して、古文書に残る氏脇病を再現できた。奴らは5年かけて、原始の力を持つ寄生虫を復活させたんです。
How much of this do y'all think Oishi has actually written down?
なんてこった。
奴らの最終的な目的は、その寄生虫をばらまき、お社様に帰依する者のみを特効薬で救い、お社様信者のみの楽園を作ろうとしているんです。
それは間違いなく事実でしょうね。
このスクラップ帳には、その寄生虫がひなみ沢の人間のほぼ全員に寄生している事実が書かれています。医学的根拠に基づいていて、その寄生を間違いなく裏付けます。
信じられない。そう。お寮のババアめ、ほっときゃいつでもお迎えが来るだろうに。実 自分一人じゃ三途の川一つ渡らないのか。こいつは無差別テロだぞ。
Or did he just buy in? Or is he just lying? Oh my god, I can't fucking tell!
なんてこった。
本来の寄生虫はひなみ沢一帯にしか適用できませんでしたが、彼らはその競技の傾向からより広域にわたって寄生虫が環境適応できるよう改良を加えている可能性が高いです。ひなみ沢だけにとどまらない。沖宮を飲み込むか、市内全域に及ぶか、県全体にまで及ぶか。
くそったり。どうすりゃいいんだ、くそ。首謀者は誰です？
ひなみ沢御三家。おそらくは園崎家の当主でしょう。ただしお涼が主会なのか、お涼すらも駒なのかはわかりません。私には奴らを奴らと呼ぶことしかできない。その規模も全くわからないんです。
その研究がどこで行われているかわかりますか？そこを押さえます。
それはこのスクラップ帳にも書かれていません。大石さんの方で見当はつきませんか？
そんな寄生虫だのなんだのの研究をしてるってことはかなりしっかりした施設でしょうな。
God, I honestly can't tell if Oishi is bought in on this or if he's just trying to keep her talking.
改造拳銃ぐらいならガレージを改造して秘
nuts.
密工場にもできるだろうが、寄生虫じゃそうはいかないでしょ
う。ミオさんは入江診療所に勤めている看護師でした。入江診療所が怪しいということはありませんか？ひなみ沢の規模から見て立派すぎるのが前から不審だと思っていました。
はあ、入江診療所か。
They'd need a specially designed facility, and they'd need a specially designed facility with advanced airtight containment, among other considerations, in order to be able to do research on dangerous parasites like this one. It's easy to equate suspicious research with a clinic facility, but it also sounds too easy and a little cliche. At first, I thought they converted part of the clinic into a secret research center, but that actually sounds a little too
とにかく
unrealistic.
それがどこかはわかりません。それはどうか大石さんの方で調べてください。怪しげなところを片っ端から調べられないんですか？
That's asking a lot.
ご存知の通り、警察は強制捜査には令状ってもんが必要です。そりゃ後付けで取ることもできますがね。間違いなくそこだという決定的な証拠があった時の話です。
Oishi is a police officer. If he's going to work as a police officer, he has to follow
で
their
も
rules.
大掛かりな細菌テロが計画されているのだけは事実なんです。しかもミオさんの殺し方の請求さから見て、私は彼らが実行に移す X デーが近いような気がしてなりません。
わかりました、わかりました。こちらの方でも何とかしています。そんなとんでもない計画なら園崎本家も一枚岩ってわけにはいかないでしょう。必ずどこかに胸中で反対している人間がいるはずです。そういう人物と接触できないか、こちらで任せてください。こういうのは私の得意とするところですよ。
It's that confident laugh. We know he's going to do a bang-up job. Oishi laughed to try and cheer me up. I was upset with the work of the police before, but Oishi's positive reaction is very reliable. He's what you might call an outlaw. Oishi's greatest advantage to me is that he doesn't exactly play by the rules. It's very encouraging that he has that kind of skill, especially since we have to act both very quickly and without conclusive evidence. The police normally investigate incidents after they've happened, but that doesn't work in this case. And this is exactly why the police are fucking worthless, because they only fucking show up after something has happened. And oftentimes they just fucking make it worse. If this incident actually does occur, it's going to be a big
ミオさん
disaster.
はなんて恐ろしい陰謀を暴いたんだろうと恐ろしくなります。
気の毒な最後でした。隣の県の山中でドラム缶の中でこんがりでしてね。 気の毒なことです。そういえば、ちょいと彼女のことで変わった話がありましてね。
Oh no. I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this is going at all.
変わった話ですか？
ねえ。
Oh, right?
最初何か事件に関係があるのかなって思ってたんですがね。今のとてつもない陰謀の話に比べたらさまつな話です。多分鑑識のちょっとしたミスでしょう。
いえ、聞かせてください。そういう約束じゃなかったですか？
いえ、隠すつもりなんかありません。ただちょいと夏向きな話だったもんで。リグさん、渡流しの晩覚えてますか？あの晩の祭りの終わった後です。あなたの仲良し5人組と富武、高野の7人で談笑してますよね。
談笑というほどではありませんでしたが、ええ、少し話をしたような気がします。
ええ、高野の遺体が見つかったのはその晩なわけですが、隣の県警さんの鑑識では、
Oh boy.
死後
Figure that one out.
24時間以上って出ちゃったらしいって噂があるんです。
Figure that one out, chat. Figure it out.
でもそれだと話がおかしい。あの祭りの前の晩には殺されてることになる。
殺されてることになる。
I'm confused. If she was found dead on the night of Watanagashi and she had been dead for 24 hours, that means...
つまり早い話が渡流しの日には高野はもう死んでることになるんですよ。
Well, this is a place to share theories, Jetstorm, by all means. What do you think's going on? You don't think the burned body is talking to us?
だから
Interesting.
あの祭りの晩に会った彼女は実はゾンビだったのかな。
Oh no, Oishi, don't say that! Oh no! Oh no! No! Oh, I've got a bad feeling.
まあ、あちらの鑑識のちょいとしたポカでしょう。
You think Takano is still alive? Huh. Oh no. I felt my brain freezing over. Oishi laughed, saying that it sounded like a horror story from summer camp. But actually, the fact that Mio-san's time of death was off backed up her incredulous theories. I haven't mentioned this one to Oishi or Keiichi-kun. If I did, they'd start to doubt everything else I've said. That's how absolutely unbelievable this theory is. At any rate, the mismatch with the time of Mio-san's death means a lot. What irony. Mio-san came up with a theory, and she proved it correct with her own life. No, not yet. This doesn't prove anything yet. If her theory is true, it might happen again. There's no way it can't be true. I still can't believe it, but Oishi said it. He said Mio-san was already dead on the night of the festival. It means that Mio-san, who was walking arm in arm with Tomitake-san on that night, wasn't Mio-san. Mio-san was already dead, so that wasn't her. That means she was... I felt a sensation one I'd never felt in my life before. It wasn't an ordinary kind of dread. It was fear of the truth. No fear is worse than the fear of accepting a truth you don't want to believe. Compared to this fear, the fear of being stalked by the Sonozaki family or being burned alive in an oil drum looked silly. That's how deep of a fear I felt, and I felt it crawling all over my body.
リュウさん、悪いことは言いません。警察が信用できないお気持ちもわかります。園崎本家は市内全域を牛耳っていますからね。署にも園崎家の御用聞きみたいな連中がいますし、それでも今のあなたは危険だ。せめて私個人を信用してはくれませんか。私以外の誰も知らないところにあなたをかくまいます。
Yo, we're gonna go hang out with Oishi?
私をどうか信用してください。
Is there air conditioning and mahjong there? I don't doubt Oishi at this point. I actually think he's very reliable. I would have said yes without a second thought, but the situation has drastically changed. If Mio-san's death backs up this unbelievable truth, I trust Oishi. I believe he'll find the enemy and take them down. but I'd rather protect myself on my own than let someone else do it. Dead lady creepers, fantastic. If the unbelievable truth is real, then I couldn't trust anyone except myself. No, even myself might appear before me too.
大石さん、本当にありがとうございます。とにかく、奴らの研究所を突き止めて、なんとか陰謀を食い止めてください。私はしばらく身を潜めます。また連絡しますね。
I noticed I'd been on the phone too long. I've been using this phone booth with a light on in the middle of the darkness. In other words, I'd been telling everybody I'm here.
もしもしもしもし
She hung up. Oishi wanted to talk more. He clicked his tongue and put the phone down. His junior, Kumagai, rushed into the room.
おいさん、やっぱりヤバそうな山っす。竜宮レナを探させているのはその崎組葛西達義。
Okay.
葛西？園崎茜の懐刀じゃないですか。
Tatsuyoshi Kasai was a pretty high-ranking big shot, even amongst the boss's younger brothers. He used to be the boss of a subordinate branch, but after suffering a bad injury during a gang war, he stepped down and now he served as the boss's aide. Akane Sonozaki relies especially on him, and as her right-hand man, he's still feared even now. When Kasai moves, other gangs consider it as a declaration of war. They fear him very much. He's a warrior among warriors. He's been lying low these days, but he's led countless number of gang wars. Post this Kasai! Well, the man is as big as a fucking tree. He is, in a sense, his own kind of tree. Kasai is also adorable. I will prove that Kasai is adorable. Tell me that doesn't just make you fucking Ugu. You can't! You can't! You are literally Uguing right now. Ugu in chat. If Kasai is cute. I'm gonna do it. There you go. Fucking proof right there. Kasai is cute. Uh-oh, I can't switch it back. Oh, okay, I got it. There we go. There we go. You're not taking him home, sorry. He was also the leader of a professional attack squadron that went to the US to receive military training during the dam conflict. They were crazy enough to think of attacking the Ministry of Construction for real.
情報や界隈でも相当な騒ぎになってるようです。竜宮レナが園崎組にとって相当都合の悪いものを握ってるんじゃないかともっぱらの噂です。
情報屋の皆さんもさすがに勘がいいですね。こりゃとんでもない山になってきたぞ。
Oh, he's just bought in. This is real.
佐さんは例の建設省とお寮の秘密交渉テープじゃないかって見てるみたいっす。だとすれば人が死ぬ騒ぎになるっすよ。
It's the tape audio and the Ministry of Construction recorded during their secret negotiations. This is more serious than Oishi thought. If her story is true, this is a massive conspiracy. It's going to cause more than quite a few deaths. It might destroy the entire village or even the entire prefecture. This is going to be the biggest terrorist strike in history.
レナ、やばいですよ。
Everybody's bought in, but they're bought into different conspiracies.
くまちゃん、覆面パトを竜宮家に貼り付かせてください。本日付で竜宮レナから暴力団組織に脅迫を受けている訴えがあったため身辺警護ってことにします。
Yes, everybody, let's follow the paranoid girl around all the time. That's going to do wonders for paranoia.
ガジョには後で私から話します。
いえ、実は竜宮レナは自宅を出ているらしいです。駐在所からの連絡ではどうも家の金を何十万か盗んで雲隠れしているらしいんです。それから竜宮家の前には園崎組の車が1台張り付いているという連絡が。
バッカ野郎！なんでそいつは早く言わないんだ！ 竜宮レナは相当高度に狙われてるぞ。さっきの電話は家じゃなかったんだ。竜宮レナを至急保護します。車回せ。家の前に張り付いてる野郎を締め上げろ。おい、
Oh
バゲロ
man.
何か来い。
おっす。
え？
Hey, check it out! Look who's back! I haven't seen you in a while.
レナさんが家にいない？この時間に？
はい。しばらく家の前で待たせていただきましたが、戻られる気配がなかった
Yeah,
の
they're
で、
just
一度引き
looking
上げま
for
した。
her. They're just looking and trying to help find her because they think she got kidnapped or ran away.
誰かの家に遊びに行ってるとかじゃない？案外本家でお姉たちと一緒に部活大会だったりしてね。
Shion was lying down on the sofa, picturing her sister and her friends fooling around and playing games as they always
一
did.
応それを疑って本家にも寄らせていただきましたが、いらっしゃられないようでした。ミオンさんもレナさんがお帰りになられないのを心配しておられました。
そうなの？どうしたんだろうね。はって。
めったにないことだろうとは思いますが、たちの悪いのに絡まれたのかもしれません。念のためレナさんを見かけていないかどうか聞き込ませています。
あの子に限っては大丈夫だと思うけどな。何気に強いしね。
それはそうと、私に何の用だったんです？
Kasai took off his jacket. Shion only told him to go see Rena because she heard that Rena had requested to see him in person. Oh, that's why they're looking for her, because he wanted to see her, but she never made that fucking meeting. Oh, she dipped before she even tried. Back when Rena was the fucking problem.
あれ？言わなかったっけ？なんかね、葛西の落とし物を拾ってるらしいよ。お姉が言うには、レナさんそれを直接返したいんだってさ。おうおう、いいね。若い子にモテることで。
堪忍してください。しかしご無事だといいのですが。
Right then, the phone rang. Kasai answered while loosening his tie.
はい、わかりました。直ちに。
Kasai sounded very serious, and Shion immediately figured out who he was talking to.
誰？お父さん？
はい。レナさんを大至急保護して本家へ護送せよとの園崎本家からの命令です。
Oh, this is probably all bad. Oh, man.
ばあさんの直令？
What?
レナさん、何をやらかしたんだか。爪かな。かわいそうに。くわばらくわばら。
レナがまだ帰ってないって？
うん。実は聞いた話だと、レナ、自宅を出てどこかに雲隠れしてるらしい。
雲隠れ？どういうことだ？
あと、これはさっき入ってきた情報なんだけど、警察が竜宮レナの行方を探してるって。
Oh, God. This is getting real fucked because the Sonozakis think the police are looking for Rena because I think they know Rena did a murder.
なんだって？
なんでも、レナの家の前にはすでに
Oh
覆面パトカ
my
ーが一台張り
God,
付
the
いてる。
tangled web that is going on right now. This is ridiculous.
村の中にもすでにサイレンなしのパトカーが数台入り込んでるみたい。あと、君吉本家にも警察から電話があって、竜宮レナの所在を至急確認したいので、懲戒連絡網で確認をしてほしいと連絡があったって。
ってことは
まさか俺たちの隠した死体が見つかったってことか。
We hid them deep in the mountains. They couldn't have found them that easily.
それは 100% ありえない。私が保証するよ。
You guarantee us that.
おう、よく 100% なんて言い切れるな。
実はね、あの死体、その時家の方で秘密の場所に処分させてもらったの。
God! That's why the body... Oh...
秘密の場所？
まあ、そこは深く考えない。あのね、私たちが埋めたあの山林、後でよくよく聞いてみたら、今年の夏に大規模な伐採計画があるって分かったの。
Them bodies are at the bottom of a fucking well now. Ain't nobody finding them shits.
だから、ちょっと私の方で手を回させてもらったってわけ。
This is why the Sonozakis are involved. This is why everybody's trying to find her. They need to get to her to keep her away from the fucking police. Because they think that the police know about the murders. Oh, wow! There's so much shit going on right now!
そっか、なるほどな。
We moved before you even ask us to.
お前、味方なら頼りになるけど、敵だったら怖いやつだな。
おじさんを誰だと思ってるんだか。
じゃあ、死体じゃないよな。一体どうして警察がレナを。
わからない。北条哲平と間宮里奈が竜宮家を食い物にしようとしてたって話は、裏の界隈ではちょっと知られてたらしいんだよ。そっちの角度からレナが浮上したのかもしれない。
Oh no. No, that's... Oh, everybody's... There's so many wires
とにか
crossed.
く容疑者ってわけじゃないみたい。でも重要参考人とかって扱いではある
She
だろ
would
う
be
ね。
Parasite Eve. Yes, she would.
どっちだって同じだぜ。くそ、せっかくレナは平穏な生活を取り戻したんだぞ。ここで台無しになんかしてたまるか。ミオ、俺たちでなんとかレナをかばおう。
当然だよ。とにかく警察よりも先にレナの身柄を確保するようさっき沖宮の家に伝えた。本家でならレナを 120% 警察から守れる。
レナをかくまうだけじゃ解決にはならないんじゃないのか。レナの嫌疑を何とかしないと。
そこは保護してから考えるよ。アリバイを証明する証人なんかいくらでも作れるし、本家に出入りしてる最高の弁護士もいる。
Man, we're just going all in. Jesus.
私たちは仲間を絶対に見捨てない。
Oh, wow.
ああ、そうさ。絶対にレナを守ってやろうな。くそ、俺ができるのはミオンに頼るだけかよ。情けねえぜ。
まあ、蛇の道は蛇ってことだよ。おじさんの方で手を尽くすから。
This old man knows a thing or two about moving bodies and making them disappear. Don't you worry.
あと、村全体で警察の目をごまかすためアリバイを作る。レナがゴグラのあたりで目撃されたことにしよう。
We'll say Rena was spotted near Gogura.
警察の目が広域に散ればそれだけ薄くなるはずだよ。
なるほどな。そいつはうまいぜ。
こんなのはダム戦争の頃はお手の物だったよ。
Yeah, it's gonna probably be more than a few fingernails to help to make this one square.
絶対にレナをかばいきってみせる。あとケイちゃん。
Yeah, she very quickly and easily disposed of those.
レナはケイちゃんのことは特に信頼してた。だからレナの方からケイちゃんのところに現れる可能性がある。その時にはすぐ保護してあげてほしい。
Listen to us, Keiichi. You are our only
その
hope.
時は私にもすぐ連絡してね。
お、わかったぜ。
レナは強い子だからね。きっとこんな苦難も乗り越えてみせるよ。
そうだな。
I hesitated to say something. Rena hadn't been her normal self lately. If she was her normal self, I've had no doubt that she could overcome this. But Rena is deeply convinced that Takano-san's delusions are true. Rena believes the Sonozaki family is behind the conspiracy. I'm not sure if she'd trust the Sonozaki family to
大
protect
丈夫
her.
だよ。 私とレナだって仲間同士なんだからさ。
Please don't fuck this
腹を
up.
割って話せば、すぐに誤解だって分かってくれるよ。
Oh yeah, yeah, she's gonna totally
レイちゃん
understand
だ
me
って
on.
私と
Don't
話し
you
て
worry.
誤解が解けたんでしょ？よくもまあ、あんなとんでも話を信じたもんだよ。
まあな、我ながら、よくあんな話を鵜呑みにしたもんだぜ。前原圭一、多分一生の恥だぜ。やれやれ。
I was deeply convinced until I talked to Mion. Even after the promise of friendship we made, I doubted her. Takano-san was endowed with magic, and I think the scrapbooks she wrote also carried a spell. The scrapbooks can make people go mad. They're forbidden scrapbooks. Nobody was supposed to read them. Rena is captivated by the power of that magic, even after Takano-san's death. I have to wake her up. I've got a very bad feeling about it.
ああ、ごめん。来客だわ。なんだか警察っぽいな。じゃあこれで電話を切るね。
お、わかっ
レナは今晩以降、ゴグラのあたりに潜伏してることになる。
Alright, everybody. We're just gonna play the old no, she was over there trick. Let's hope that works.
警察に何か聞かれても、知りません、会ってませんで通すんだよ。
Who wants some Takano Mio juice?
お、了解。
Mion waited for my answer, then hung up the phone. After she hung up, I slowly started to feel like Rena was being consumed by some huge, unthinkable fate. It's not only the police I'm worried about, I'm also worried about that Rena is snared by the power of Takano-san's magic. I fear that she might be suffering from incredible anxiety. Alright, Rena might be hiding at her secret base at the garbage dump. Rena once told me that she used to spend time there when Rina-san was at her house, and she told me that she hid the scrapbooks there too. If she's hiding there, she must be hungry by now. I should bring her something to eat. I went to the kitchen and looked for some junk food. My mother looked
母さんごめん。
confused.
ちょっと出かけてくるよ。
こんな時間に？もう遅いからよしなさい。
大切な用事なんだ。すぐ戻るよ。あとそれから、もし俺が留守の間にレナが来るようなことがあったら、
Send the girl to my
黙って俺の部屋
room.
に通してほしい。
You think Keiichi is doing a bad thing again?
それからレナの所在を尋ねる電話が来たら、知らないって言って切っちゃって。
My mom looked angry that I was leaving the house so late an hour, but I rushed out of the house before she could say anything. I grabbed a flashlight from the wall in the garage, got on my bicycle, and sped off into the darkness. The moon looked beautiful, but in a creepy way. I feel like something terrible is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I know it's coming. Something is going to happen. The moon, seemingly knowing just what that something will be, looked like it was laughing at us, pacing back and forth in confusion. Damn it! Laugh all you want. Laugh at this funny story as much as you want. The clowns are milling about, everybody! I'm not going to laugh. I'm going to fight. I'm going to smash through whatever fate is awaiting us. Runa, I hope you're there. Maybe my bicycle needs some oil? It was like making a lousy noise as I pedaled. Damn it, even my bicycle is laughing at us. Oh man, and I think that's where we cut for the night. Oh boy! Maibara smashes into battle! Them. That is our tip. Them. Them. They. Them. Them. I finished talking with Oishi on the phone and soon left the phone booth. I realized something, and a chill ran through my body. I was in a phone booth that stood out tremendously in the dark. Somebody must have seen me. I was certain I was being watched. Is this getting redder somehow? I saw glowing eyes staring at me in the dark. It wasn't human. Was it an illusion? No. I knew who they were. They were the ones controlling the three families who ruled Hinamizawa. Its eye level was too low for it to be human, and its outline was vague. I knew from the past records that they were physically frail. The silhouette, which indicated its inhuman appearance, was unbelievably unrealistic, especially its protruding head. One of the scrapbooks I received from Mio-san described their appearance in detail. Their eyeballs are pure red, like blood, and their bodies smell like ammonia. Even though some of them have, at times, been captured around the world, all of them melted or disappeared, leaving no trace behind. The only traces remaining are the marks proving their descent to Earth. Right then, the impossible, unrealistic silhouette took a step closer and got closer and closer toward me, making a realistic noise as it crunched across the gravel. The noise pulled me back to reality. It kept walking toward me. It sounded like it was kicking pebbles everywhere as it walked. It was coming closer and closer. I was scared, so I said the same thing once again, and this time the glass door of the phone booth I was in started to rattle and shake. Bang! It made weird sounds as if it was being struck by something. I screamed loudly in fear and started running. I ran so hard that I felt my lungs were about to explode, and then I looked back to find the thing was no longer chasing after me. Was it my imagination? There was no way it was just my imagination. I definitely heard the sound of the gravel being kicked and the phone booth rattling, but I needed to calm down. Right then, I needed to make my heart stop beating so fast. I'd have to fight them eventually. The next time they appeared, I was going to strike back at them. I was going to squash their heads with my big hatchet. I'd protect Hinamizawa. It was my duty to do so. I wouldn't allow them to do whatever they wanted. I saw the lights flickering in my head again. Oh my. Oh my.